I like pretty girls.
So, until the recent events surrounding Will Smith unfolded, a word I'd never thought I'd use to describe him is desperate. And no, I don't mean desperate for respect in terms of acting, or his deteriorating marriage, or even in music with his latest comeback album. Nah, I mean specifically in this song where he sounds desperate for booty.
I like pretty girls.
Because this is a song that's supposed to be about just how much he loves pretty women. But then he says,
There's not a lot of women not pretty to me.
which, from his horny delivery, it makes it sound less like female body positivity and more like a dude who's itching to hump the first girl that comes his way.
I mean, she pretty to me.
Like, these are the words of a man who doesn't have any standards. It reminds me of that Old Dirty Bastard song.
Dedicated to all the pretty girls, pretty girls. That's me, you pretty anyway, baby.
Ain't too many women ain't pretty to me. Ain't too many women ain't pretty to me.
I mean, sure, she's cockeyed, hunched back, her boobs sagged to the floor, and she's got a face like she's constantly sniffing a sink with 2 weeks of old food in it, but hey, she's pretty to me.
And I ain't talking about just the pretty you see, but the pretty you be.
Ooh, is that what you tell him? Babe, I don't care about outer beauty, it's what's on the inside that counts. No, he cares about her insides, all right. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is Will Smith, the heartthrob for at least 30% of all women from the 90s. Why is he sounding just like the old man in the club trying to mac on Gen Z chicks, but only has a vague grasp on the lingo and how they actually think?
I like BBLs, that stand for bad bitches link up.
Really? You like bad bitches link up? Is that the line that makes the panties drop? Hey, I love it when women stick together. Sisters doing it for themselves, am I right? Cause see, I'm not one of those beta males who only cares about beauty. I'm woke, so I'll bang you no matter what you look like. No, that's not working. I'm a performative male. Doesn't that mean something? Okay, so I know people are already rolling their eyes as soon as they see a song with a celebrity complaining about cancel culture, because oftentimes it's just a rich person mad they got pushed back for doing or saying something dumb. But there is some truth to it. Internet randos absolutely will form like a digital Voltron pitchfork and go on morality crusades. But while it's sometimes justified, just as oftentimes it'll be someone getting shit on someone who doesn't deserve it. My problem here is that what she's describing isn't cancel culture.
Did your girl boss too close to the sun?
Like, what? Do women get canceled for being too much of a girl boss? Now, don't get it twisted. Women absolutely get shit from sexist douchebags online, but I don't think anyone would call that getting canceled. Like when that female Ghostbusters reboot got hate bombed by a bunch of mouth breathers, I don't remember anyone referring to the movie or the cast as getting canceled. That phrase specifically is about when there's public moral anger over someone's problematic behavior. I mean, sure, it's all outrage culture in general, and maybe it all looks like a blurry haze of digital negativity from the perspective of a famous person who has to deal with it all, but there are distinctions here. Like, Ellen DeGeneres didn't get canceled for being a girl boss, she got called out for being awful to people who work for her. That wasn't just hate, that was a specific moral judgment based off of a pattern of behavior. And I've heard that these lines are supposed to be alluding to Blake Lively's situation with Justin Baldoni, but the problem is, the lyrics are so vague in relation to any notable cancellations that it doesn't really make any connection to them.
Did you make a joke only a man could?
Like, I really don't think women are getting canceled for making "take my wife please" jokes.
Did they catch you having far too much fun?
What, you mean like when people found out about all those white celebrities that did blackface, like, within the last 30 years? You could probably say they were having a little too much fun, yeah. Now, as I've said before, there are absolutely times when the digital swarm gets it wrong and goes after someone for something that turns out to be incorrect or overblown. But when it's handled so vaguely here, it ends up feeling like most times when celebrities talk about canceling. You know, where you get the feeling that they're conveniently not making distinctions between valid and invalid cancellations so they can blur it all together and not have to address any of the actually valid criticism. I'm just saying, hit me up when she does a version of the song that hashes out the whole discourse about her taking private jets to charity events.
A short piece of rope, hang 'em up high at sundown.
What the fuck is going on? We doing lynching anthems over trap beats now? Dear God, the worst of country and rap music has truly come together.
We don't judge by skin, we judge by soul.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Hang 'em up high at sundown.
Like, that feels like an allusion to sundown towns, where black people weren't allowed in certain white neighborhoods after dark pre-civil rights. Like, if that's not what he's referencing, that's a pretty fucking poor choice of words for someone who also grew up in the South and should absolutely know what that is. But hey, these are the type of lyrics where they didn't directly say a racist thing, it's just stuff that could be heard as that if you're aware of certain context. So how about we listen to what they say in the verse? Maybe it just really is a misunderstanding.
Austin Metcalf lost his life at a track meet.
Okay, so when I looked that up, it was a case of a black teen stabbing a white teen teen after the white teen wouldn't let him stay in his tent while it was raining at a track meet, and he pushed the black teen out when he insisted on staying till the rain ended. So, okay, it just seems like a random heated incident between two people, but let's keep going.
Lake and Raleigh was murdered while she was running in the streets.
Okay, as I looked that one up, it's about a Latino immigrant who killed a white woman. Anybody noticing a pattern so far? Like, out of the thousands of crimes that happened in the past year, the only ones they're bringing up are the ones where the aggressor is a minority and the victim's a white person? Well, gee, I wonder what the ethnicity of the last murderer is gonna be.
What about the girl who left the danger in Ukraine? Will get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's rapping Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, just like I thought. And with the case he's talking about here, I looked it up and it seems like the killer was suffering from severe schizophrenia, and apparently the state he was in had been reducing the number of available psychiatric beds, which led to guys like him not getting treatment. And apparently he'd called 911 several times about having man-made substances in his body that were controlling him. Like, this guy was not doing okay. And you know why he brought up the Black Lives Matter bit there. Because when cases like these are brought up, it's meant as a way to counteract the news stories of cops killing people and abusing their authority. As if to say, oh, well, you think those black people are so innocent, but look at what some random black people did over here. But here's the difference. When these criminals get caught, they're going to be punished by the system to the fullest extent of the law. But when cops do the exact same bullshit, at best they'll get quietly moved to another district like a child molesting priest.
We don't judge by skin, we judge by soul.
See, the fact that you say that, but are only bringing up racialized cases tells on itself about the skewed narrative you've been fed. Because it's like, yeah, I'm sure those white guys who killed Emmett Till in the 50s just really cared about properly rectifying the honor of a white woman who'd been whistled at.
And right on their lawn, we'll set fire to a big lowercase t.
Lowercase t?
Yeah, for time to leave.
Like, every case they mention just seems like the exact type of story that doesn't actually mean anything in the grand scheme, but works up the blood of people who want to be angered by that type of racially coded news story. But at the end of the day, these cases are just individual instances of either shitty people, heated arguments gone wrong, or a mentally unwell person acting out.
They get 'em up out of the bricks for a while. The judge turned them loose on the town.
And that's the thing too, none of these people are being systematically protected after they do awful shit like cops or billionaires. I guarantee you that immigrant dude isn't getting suspended with pay before being quietly moved to another branch of his job. Matter of fact, just recently that immigrant dude was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to a life in prison, so justice was served. But what grifters like Newsmax like to do is highlight any crimes with a racial element to them and go, wow, can you believe how racialized violence is these days? But hey, since you just want to talk about the facts, well, let's look at the big numbers. Did you know that most crime committed in relation to race in America are white-on-white crimes? And who cares about proportional statistics? No, the cold hard fact is that on raw population numbers alone, white people are doing the most crime to each other. So I guess we gotta do something about these white neighborhoods. Maybe do some tough on crime policing in those white areas till things get better. No, they're not gonna sell you that story, now are they? But they can zoom in on past all those crimes happening by the hundreds every day to focus on 3 sensationalized cases involving people of different races, and all of a sudden we might as well declare race war. And I say all this to make a point. These guys might not be racist, but when I really look at the rhetoric of what they're saying, at best they're useful idiots for the conservative news feeds that are rotting their brains. So I want to give them that benefit of the doubt at least, but then you hear a line like this.
We ought to do it like they did it way back in the day, cause granddaddy's way it works best.
It's like, yeah, nothing suspicious there. Just a totally neutral reference to a time period and place with no racial baggage whatsoever. Yeah, even the MAGA types who made Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro chart last year drew the line at blindly supporting this shit, because, you know, not a great look for anyone to openly support advocating for public lynchings. Man, what a sad day for the country rap crossover genre, right at its mainstream height. It's gotta feel like how hippies did when the Manson family murders happened right after Woodstock. So at this point, talking about Kanye comes with a compulsory statement about how, while I think Kanye West is a shitheel of a person, he's also clearly suffering from mental health issues. But the fact is, he's also extremely wealthy, which means the help he needs isn't locked behind a paywall of medical bills. So while yes, I do think the guy needs help, I don't think that all the way excuses the active decisions he's been continuing to make as a common pattern of behavior. Because mental health certainly affects your thinking in ways, but it doesn't make you actively want to become a Nazi. You gotta have a consistent line of thinking in your belief system to commit to some shit like that. And I'm not just talking about saying shitty things in his songs to piss you off in the music. I'm talking about the active real-life decisions he's been making, like doing a collab album with P. Diddy's son, where he shouts "Free Diddy" and "I'm glad they freed Cosby." Because I looked up those Diddy cases, and surprise, surprise, his sons were definitely involved with some of that shit as well. So if you don't mind, I'm not gonna actually sample these songs. I'm just gonna say the lyrics, because I don't want a red cent to go towards this shit. I mean, he's saying shit like, they don't understand what I say on Twitter, nigga Heil Hitler. And it's like, nah, we pretty clearly understood what you said. And if there was any confusion, your next statement makes it pretty damn crystal with reading Hitler 2 chapters before I go to sleep. You see what I mean by a consistent pattern of behavior here? But throughout his verses, there seems to be this ongoing indignation about the reaction to how he's acting, all the while actively continuing to do these things. Like with this especially baffling line, they say I'm acting like Hitler, but how when I'm a nigga? It's like, yeah, bro, you just said you read 2 chapters of Mein Kampf before bed. What do you mean, how could they say that if I'm a nigga? You give my brain whiplash right now. And you know what's the weirdest thing? He technically didn't even write this shit. Yeah, according to interviews, he hired last year's basic bitch controversy machine Dave Blunts to do all the writing for him. So Kanye's lazy ass just dictated the ideas to him, sometimes making him do up to 20 rewrites all to get lyrics like this? I can't name a Jew I trust. Followed by, okay, I can name like 3. It's like, what the fuck? The man's headbutting his own racism. Now look, I'm aware of what people have said about these lyrics, that he's playing into the bad guy character on purpose, as he alludes to with lines like this. Niggas see my Twitter, but they don't see how I'm feeling, so I became a Nazi, yeah, bitch, I'm the villain. Which is such a cop-out. Like, how dare you come down on me for saying shit about going DEFCON 4 on the Jews? Well, now I'll do and say even worse things. And it's not exactly like he's saying shit that you'd have trouble believing are his honest thoughts. Like, when you hear him say, she's trying to get me committed, so I just might beat my wife, like, this isn't stuff you're saying just because it pisses people off. No, this is you using the bad guy angle to say what you already wanted to say. However, though, there keeps popping up these completely contradictory statements from one song to another. Like one track he's saying, hey, my bank account is fine, I'm screaming free Diddy. And on another track he's saying, man, they took my kids from me and then they closed my bank account. Then going from proudly proclaiming free Diddy and free Cosby right into dreading about the famous people he knew who went to Epstein's Island, saying, oh, I knew some niggas who went to that island. Why the fuck would you go to that island? So there's just all these wildly vacillating thought processes that just sound like a person incomprehensibly crashing out. And hey, didn't Donald Trump supporters think he was supposed to be like a double agent who was trying to take Epstein down or something? Isn't that what all that QAnon bullshit was about? Like it would even make any fucking sense that a grifter like him would give a shit? Also, there's the constant mentions about huffing on nitrous gas that he got from his dentist, which definitely is putting things in perspective. And while I want to have sympathy for a drug addict, when you zoom out, he's honestly just a microcosm of the general problem America has with rich nut jobs who are whacked out on drugs but don't have to answer for anything about their behavior. Just like Elon Musk or that Peter Thiel jackass whose wackadoo antichrist beliefs he's been ranting about somehow doesn't bar him from being in control of the biggest surveillance system in the modern world. Because, you know, they're rich, they can just perpetually show their asses and all we can do is watch it happen. Now, there's plenty of other lyrics here I just don't have time to get to. Like, we don't even have time to cover the weird bit of time where he regretted being anti-Semitic for like the 3rd time, and so he made the baffling choice to change the hook of Heil Hitler to Hallelujah. So it's, they don't understand what I say on Twitter, nigga hallelujah. Like, what the fuck? But while all those other lyrics are clearly example of a brain that's like a douchebag Tootsie Pop with a candy coating of drugs and unlimited wealth that magnifies his head-assery, to wrap things up, I want to cover what I feel is the most clear-headed thought process he's put into song this past year. His song, Cousins. Because, you see, all that other stuff is shit that feels like a man who's been playing into his controversy but then got lost in the weeds of his own madness. But when you hear the lyrics of this track, it feels like his most earnest confession. He says, hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines, we seen 2 niggas kissing, we ain't know what that shit means. Then we start reenacting everything that we had seen. That's when I gave my cousin head. Now, to be clear, he absolutely should not feel bad about this. He was a kid trying to learn about sex in a world that keeps that shit hidden and shames us when we try to understand. But see, the guilt wasn't just about the sexual embarrassment he felt over experimenting with his cousin. It's what he said on Twitter about the track that really took me aback. This song is about my cousin that's locked in jail for life after killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt like it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6 and then we acted out what we saw. My name is Ye and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14. Like, wow, man, that's a fucking lot to think about. This is a man who's been walking around with guilt his whole adult life because he thought sexual experimentation with his cousin is what directly led to his cousin's life of crime. I mean, if that's not a desperate call for better sex education in this country, I don't know what is. Look, man, I get it. You're Drake. You were like the top-selling rap artist of the last decade. You had whole pages worth of Spotify playlists where your face was slapped over at least 10 different subgenres of music. And then, of course, it recently turned out that allegedly a bunch of those streams have been astroturfed in the last 3 years by that gambling company you signed to, but that's a whole other side of the story. But then you got too big for your britches and thought you could take down the smarty art nigga, but you didn't see it coming. He caught you on the back foot. He pulled your proverbial pants down and had you looking like a bully at the end of a teen sex comedy, and all of a sudden you had a PR nightmare on your hands. But instead of regrouping broken, coming back with some cold, unbothered villain type energy. You crashed out like a bad day at NASCAR and you made a song about running to the strip club like it was a fucking trauma ward.
Walk in the strip club, damn, I miss you, hoes. Give me a hug, give me a hug, give me a hug.
Like, wow, to lose a rap battle so bad that it turns you into the where's my hug at guy at a strip club? That's just fucking sad, man.
Yeah, give me a hug, I miss you, hoes. Give me a hug.
He's over here begging for human touch like a cold Victorian orphan boy. Please, sir, can I have some whores?
Princess Gigi, Pooh, Pink, Luxury, I gotta come to the stage.
This man really said, I need all my emotional support strippers front and center stat.
Fuck on rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit.
Yeah, now that I totally lost, who even cares about rap battles anymore, am I right?
Niggas is hating no boy for sure, the women in love.
Hate to use my catchphrase here, but oh my god, I can't believe this nigga is talking about women who are paid to act like they care about you as if they actually love this man. And you know what, buddy? I get it. The lyrical ass beating you got was so traumatic, you had to lick your wounds by pulling some squirts at the club. But to put that pussy pity party in song form and then hit upload, solidifying the image that you most definitely lost and were desperate for female validation. My brother, have some composure. Like, he recorded another failure lap of a track called What Did I Miss that tried to act like he was unbothered while clearly sounding like he was throwing a temper tantrum over all his lost friends.
You switched on the guys and supported a hater. Let's go. When I was looking at y'all and cooking with y'all and giving out verses and bookings to y'all, making sure eyes were hit, man, what did I miss? I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me.
Sure, Jan.
But this Gimme a Hug track is so much worse because it just actively sounds so pathetic. It's just hard to believe he actually released it.
Yeah. Drake elimination, fake intimidation. Take a minute, take a deep breath, have a little bit of patience.
Oh yeah, and starting off the song like he's coaching himself through a panic attack probably wasn't the best choice either. Sounds like he's using the Calm app to try to keep him from checking Twitter again. This was supposed to be the Iceman era for him. Instead, we got Frosty the Snowman having a mid-melt crisis.
Drizzy, you amazing. You the inspiration. You set the bar for the next generation.
Who are you trying to convince, Drake? Me or you?
Hey, I miss you. I'm talking to you, baby. I miss you.
It just ends on such a somber note. It sounds like Drake texting someone who already muted the conversation. And like I said, as it turns out, for the last 3 years, all that popularity was being artificially pumped by a bunch of farm streams. So I guess it's kind of poetic in a way, because that would mean this song about craving attention was being propped up by machines pretending to care. Man, shit's like a Black Mirror episode or something. Well, that's the episode. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe button because that's what helps the most. And if you want to make live stream music listen requests, of course, that's Ko-fi.com/rapcritic and Patreon.com/rapcritic to get all my content early and access to the Patreon Discord. So check all that fun stuff out and I'll catch you next time. Peace.